your testosterone levels are lower than any other man in your entire bloodline. It is embarrassing. The truth is that every man can raise his testosterone significantly, but most guys will never do it. Why? In the modern world, low testosterone has become the standard. Having 1/5 the testosterone of your ancestors is considered normal now. Think about that for a second. You have embarrassingly lower testosterone levels compared to any other man that came before you, and yet you accept it. When the modern world and doctors convince you that your test levels are fine. Pathetic. If you know that the modern world is creating weak men, why would you respect their standards on testosterone? And why would you ever want to have the same test levels as the average man? Listen, as a man, your testosterone directly reflects your masculinity and quality of life. Your energy, ambition, muscle mass, bone density, and life force all directly depends on your testosterone. Every man should want to increase it as much as naturally possible. In this video, we will go over 5 ways to increase your testosterone naturally. But before we get into it, I want you to know there is only so much I can cover in one video. That is why I created a full program to triple your testosterone. The link to it is in the description. Number 1. Avoid poison. You are what you eat, and when you consume poison, it directly lowers your testosterone levels. An example of sneaky poison is tap water. Tap water contains tons of garbage chemicals that decrease your testosterone, one of them being the birth control hormone. The vast majority of females use contraceptives. Their urine gets filtered into the tap water you drink. However, the estrogenic hormones does not get filtered out. It remains in the tap water. In other words, you are directly consuming the female hormone when you drink tap water. The solution is to have a water filter installed in your house or to buy your water. Other poisons to avoid are processed foods and excessive amounts of soy. Number 2. Force more testosterone. You can actually force yourself to have more testosterone. This might sound wishy-washy to most people because they don't understand the power of the mind. Novices. We already know the placebo effect is a real thing, and you already know you can get sexually stimulated simply by merely thinking certain thoughts. That's how much power and control our mind has. Most people have weak minds, and they force their body to produce less testosterone by believing the wrong things and having a weak mindset. Just understand this. In the times of your ancestors, their reality was competition and danger. We live in comfortable times, so you need to convince yourself you face the same dangers as your ancestors. Force more testosterone by using self-hypnosis. It might sound cringe to people that don't understand the ability of the mind, but it is actually extremely effective, and science hasn't caught up to it yet. You see, science only has a basic understanding of the human mind. Most people don't have control over their own minds, so this one might be difficult. But when you get this down, you will understand how powerful it truly is. More information on this will be found in the testosterone program. Number 3. Domination. The biggest increase in testosterone happens when you become a beast and dominate. You see, research has shown that winning a competition results in a direct increase in testosterone levels, whereas losing a competition decreases testosterone. People will tell you to just hit the gym and it will boost your testosterone levels. Listen, lifting weights helps, but just the lifting weights is not maximizing your testosterone levels. Far from it. Think about your ancestors. They had to hunt, compete, fight, and lift. They did it all. Yes, they had to carry things like wood, rocks, or a prey. But it wasn't all they did. They had to be able to sprint, climb, fight, compete, and dominate. Training is much more than static movements in the gym. When was the last time you went out for a sprint? And when is the last time you beat another man in competition? You see, everyone wants to be a beast until it's time to do what real beasts do. They would rather play video games or stay in their comfort zone. For many guys, their comfort zone has become the gym. You might look like a beast on the outside, and you might even have better testosterone levels than the average guy. But your great-grandfather was still twice the man you are without even going to the gym. He still had stronger grip strength and more testosterone than you. Why? Your ancestors faced more adversity than you. We live in a comfortable world, and comfort is a testosterone killer. As a man, you need to feel daily discomfort. You need to experience competition and face your fears. Lastly, you need to win. Don't just compete or face your fears and get crushed. Studies have shown that winning in competition directly results in an increase of testosterone. So you must dominate. Number 4, great recovery. Peak testosterone production occurs during your sleep hours, so never underestimate the importance of sleep. The reality is that most guys don't face enough discomfort and they don't sleep enough. That is why they end up with the testosterone of a little worm. After facing enough discomfort, you need to know how to rest and recover. If you don't sleep enough, you are directly tanking your testosterone. 5 hours of sleep decreases your testosterone levels by 10 to 15%, so you need to get in at least 8 hours of sleep. Now, there is a difference between just sleeping and getting quality sleep. That is why some people wake up after 8 hours of sleep and still feel tired. This means their sleep quality was garbage. Listen. Research has shown that the highest levels of testosterone happen during REM sleep, the deep restorative sleep that occurs mostly late in the nightly sleep cycle. Think about your ancestors. They simply went to bed when night fell and woke up with the sunrise. There were no artificial lights and entertainment blasted in their eyes before bed, and there was no alarm clock blowing in their ear to disturb their rest. We have more knowledge on sleeping and testosterone than they did, and yet they outperform us in both areas. I advise every man to set a bedtime instead of a wake-up time. This is hard for many guys because of their work or school schedule, but if you can, it would be best to allow yourself to wake up naturally while you consistently go to bed around the same time. The reason for this is because you need more sleep on some days depending on how active your day was. When you forcefully wake yourself up, you are stopping yourself from getting full recovery. Being consistent with your sleep times maintains the timing of the body's internal clock and helps you get better quality rest. Something else to be aware of is how screens before bed will destroy the quality of your sleep. Reduce screen time before bed and turn off bright lights. Most cell phones have the option to turn the screen warm, and I recommend you automatically set this up 3 hours before bed and put all screens away 1 hour before bed. In that hour before bed, it's best to unwind. Take some time to empty your mind before going to bed. It might seem difficult at first because you might be addicted to your phone. But once you get used to it, you will quickly notice how it will massively increase your sleep quality. Lastly, it's optimal to sleep in a dark environment with a cool room temperature. There are more tips I could give you on improving your recovery, but with these basics, you can already drastically increase your quality sleep and testosterone. Number 5, the power of the sun. There is tremendous power in the sun, and humans have the ability to capture energy from it. It is coded in our DNA. Research has shown that getting sunlight to the eyes in the morning will increase your daytime focus, immune function, and will give you better sleep during nighttime. The more daylight exposure you can get, the better your body will produce melatonin when it's time to go to sleep. Getting sunlight on your skin will also increase your total testosterone. Now, you may be living in a cold environment and think you can use that as an excuse. Here is the reality. Everyone can get daylight no matter where you live. Sure, some environments provide more sun and they could perhaps benefit you more. But even if it is raining and gray outside, there are still benefits to be gained from getting daylight. There are no excuses. Everyone should be able to at least go out for a walk to get daylight. If you want to catch two birds with one stone, you could go for some sprints during the day or train in a park. Out of all the points we have just discussed, getting daylight is the easiest thing to do. And yet, many guys miss out on it regularly. If you are dark-skinned, you need about 6 times more sun exposure than light-skinned people to get enough vitamin D. So consider combining daily sunlight with a vitamin D supplement. There is so much more I could tell you on increasing your testosterone, but it will not fit in a single video. If you are serious about massively boosting your testosterone and want to know more, go to the link in the description down below.